all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Hello, and thanks for listening in. You're listening to the Daily Morning Update from Bloomberg Quint, and I'm Alex Matthew. Good morning. Today is Monday, the 13th of January. With geopolitical tension subsiding somewhat, attention turns back to the presentation of the Union Budget here in India at the start of next month, now a little over 2.5 weeks away. And speaking about the budget, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman may announce a second round of capital infusion for public sector general insurance companies on the 1st of February to improve their financial health. The government infused 2,500 crore rupees in the three insurers, that's National Insurance, Oriental Insurance and United India Insurance, through first supplementary demands for grants for 2019-20 last month. But these companies will require an additional 10,000 to 12,000 crore rupees in capital to meet the prescribed solvency margin. India's industrial output rebounded in November after 3 consecutive months of contraction. The rebound, along with other high-frequency indicators, suggests some stability in the economy, even though signs of a recovery remain modest. The index of industrial production rose 1.8% in November over a year ago, compared to a contraction of 3.84% in October. 32 economists polled by Bloomberg had forecast November's IIP growth at just 0.3%. Edelweiss Group has denied having any business relationship with Capstone Forex and debunked the allegations about its involvement in foreign exchange violations, alleging that the media has reported false allegations, conjecture and innuendo. Chairman and CEO of the group, Rashesh Shah, has said that he was compelled to take appropriate legal action against the concerned media group, which he didn't name, in order to protect and reinforce the reputation of the financial services company. In earnings, Infosys will be in focus today after analysts retain their targets for the stock, as its earnings for the quarter ended December beat estimates, and the company's board found no merit in the whistleblower allegations of accounting malpractice by the firm or its executives. In international news, inside Iran, the admission by authorities that they accidentally shot down a Ukrainian passenger jet that was packed with Iranian students last week has shattered the brief moment of unity, putting leadership on the back foot yet again after only recently quashing nationwide protests. The fact that Iran appears to have spent days giving false justifications for the crash, which killed all 176 people on board, added to the anger, sparking protests and a crackdown from the government. Domestic backlash from the attempted cover-up is likely to constrain the regime's freedom to act and erode whatever sympathy Iran had gained from the ramping up of pressure and tensions by the US. The world's biggest initial public offering turned out to be even bigger than initially thought. The final amount raised by Saudi Aramco's sale totaled $29.4 billion, as Goldman Sachs Group, one of the underwriters of the IPO, exercised an option to place some shares that were initially separated to avoid price swings. It said that 450 million additional shares were placed at $8.53 each with investors during the book building process. The big data point in the US on Friday was the jobs report. The US labor market ended the year with less momentum as payroll gains cooled by more than forecast and wages rose at the weakest annual pace since 2018, even as unemployment held at a half-century low of 3.5%. Non-farm payrolls rose 145,000 in December, the least since May, after a downwardly revised 256,000 advance the previous month, according to the Labour Department report. That compares with a median estimate of 160,000 in Bloomberg's survey of economists. Average hourly earnings climbed less than anticipated at 2.9% from a year earlier, the first sub-3% reading since July 2018. In international markets, US stocks ended in the red, with two of the averages ending with cuts of a third of 1%. The Dow led losses, ending down as much as 0.5%. Stocks in the Asia-Pacific region have started mixed. Japanese stocks weren't trading, while the other two, in Australia and in South Korea, were heading in opposite directions. With that, it's over to Darshan Mehta for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Darshan. How are we looking at the start of the week?
Hi, Alex. Good morning, everyone. The US markets ended slightly muted, but the Asian markets have done well. The SGX Nifty is currently indicating a positive outlook. In terms of results announced, Infosys, the results were in line with estimates, but the management raised the full year guidance on the revenue side. The audit committee has also found no evidence of executive misconduct. The large deal wins, the double-digit growth in the US and European markets, EBIT margin improvement were the key positive, and analysts believe that the valuation gap to TCS can narrow further. The ADR ended up almost 2% in the US markets. Avenue Supermart's results were in line with estimates. Revenues were up 24%, profit were up 53%, and that was aided by lower tax, and EBITDA was up 32%. Now, the EBITDA margin expansion was led by the 30 basis point improvement in gross margins. The management noted that the top line in Q3 was in line with internal expectation, and they opened 20 stores during the first 9 months compared to 12 what they did in the first 9 months of last year and 21 for the full year last year. Steel strip wheels revenues down 30%, EBITDA down 31%, profit down 68%. In terms of results today, Delta Corp and Tata Elxsi will be announcing numbers. Some of the stocks that we need to watch out for: Yes Bank board will look at the allegation raised by Uttam Prakash Agarwal in his resignation letter. The board has also rejected Arvind Singh's $1.2 billion offer. CTAX Holdings' $500 million will be discussed at the subsequent meeting, and the board has decided to raise funds up to 10,000 crores via various options. Edelweiss has received communication from the Enforcement Directorate for the dealing with Capstone Forex. Edelweiss says none of its companies have any transaction with Capstone Forex. HCC, in which the lenders have initiated a debt and asset carve-out of almost 2,100 crores to third-party control SPV. The balance sheet will be deleveraged with no debt servicing obligation expected for the next 33 months. The Netherlands arms of Tata Steel has executed agreements for refinancing of its bank debt. They have raised term loan facilities of 1.75 billion euros from 19 banks, and there is a reduction of 500 million euros versus the external debt outstanding in Tata Steel Europe as of March 2019. HUDCO says that one of its borrowing agencies with a principal outstanding of 726 crores has cleared its dues and is now out of the NPA. JSW Energy has allotted shares worth 352 crores by JP Power Ventures. Nomura sold in 1.3 crore shares in Sadbhav Infra, and IndusInd Bank sold in 15 lakh shares in Reliance Infra. In terms of brokerages, UBS has initiated on Bajaj Finance with a target price of 4,600. They have initiated on L&T Finance with a target price of 165 and initiated on Embassy Office Park REIT with a target price of 400. JP Morgan has raised Avenue Supermart's targets to 1960, and Bank of America Merrill Lynch has raised Siemens targets to 1162 from the earlier 800, but maintain and underperform. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab, and you will be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks, Darshan. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.